to yourself in order to achieve Zen. No, I've not gone mad. I've decided, after some pondering yesterday, to take a more chilled Zen approach to my working life. Now, I've always been of the impression that I need to get to work for 8 o'clock, and if I'm not at work for 8 o'clock, I have this silly thing in my head that says I'm late, I'm behind, I've got to catch up. It doesn't work like that at all, because I work for myself. Doesn't matter if I can turn up at 9 o'clock, which I'm gonna this morning, because I'm Zen now. I've been listening to the Orb. Do you know Blue? If anyone knows Blue Room by the Orb, the full version, very chilled track. I do like a bit of some chill out music. But today I've decided to try and turn over a new leaf, and I get to work when I get to work. I've had to pick up a load of materials this morning, which usually I would do the afternoon before or the evening before, depending on where I'm picking up the materials from. So I often find myself out going to Screwfix at 7:30 just before it shuts, so it's nice and quiet and I haven't got to queue up. But this morning I thought, no, sod that. I'm going to leave my house at 7:30. I'm going to go and pick up everything I need for the job, and then I'm going to get to work. If I get to work at 9, I get to work at 9. But that's the approach I want to take. Anyway, today I am doing a little bit of K-rend. I've got some Hardy backer board to screw over the top of some timber sleepers, and then I'm going to be putting some beads on it, some primer on it, probably leave that to dry, and then I'll do the K-rend top coat tomorrow and scratch it off on Friday morning. So that's the job. I'll try and set you up on some sort of time lapse, and I'll show you how I do it. I've only done this sort of thing a couple of times, and I'm hoping in the long run that these things last. It's not my idea. I haven't said that this is a great idea to a customer. The customer's already had built out sleepers, and he wants them looking rendered. I did do one about 2 or 3 weeks ago on the other side of the garden, so there is a video on the playlist showing that. But now he's built the other side up and he wants that done, so that's the plan for the next couple of days. So I'll see you there, and we're centered again. So each of these boards, I'm going to cut off a strip like that first, and that strip will be the top strip. It's easier to cut that strip first rather than cut that and then try and cut. If I put a board up against there and then have to cut off from there onwards, I've got a very small bit to try and cut down to that size, so it's easier to take that bit off of the full board first, then put the bit in there and cut the waste off. I'm not sure if the waste will be enough for another one of them, but I'll have a look. But you'll see what I mean anyway. yesterday's video, I really enjoyed myself today in that garden. I had a lovely day's work there. I really enjoyed cutting all them boards and fixing them on, just doing something a little bit different. So tomorrow I'll be putting the K-rend on that. I'm just going to go straight onto that primed board with the scratch coat. I'm not going to put a base coat on it. I don't feel it needs it really. I think base coat, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that the base coat, when you go on block work or brickwork, will hold back the mortar joints so they don't start grinning through your finished scratch coat. But obviously there is none on there, so I'm just going to go straight on with 2 coats of the finish coat. I did it on the other side where the other plants are, and that looks fantastic. So just the same again tomorrow really with that. So I'll get there in the morning. I've got to put a load more screws in the boards. I run out of screws. I did buy a box of 200 this morning. I used them all up, so I'm going to grab another box now, and I'm going to grab another bag of K-rend. I've got 5.5 bags there, which will probably do the job, but I'd rather have 1 bag too many than 1 bag too less. So I'm going to go and do that now. Then I've got another little job to look at on the way through, which is only a tiny little thing. I think someone's had a dishwasher taken out. There's a bit of plaster in there or something. So I should go and look at that. And I had some good feedback from yesterday's video. Well, it was really about me getting older and how plastering gets harder and just ways, what do people do. And a few of you suggested, well 2 of you suggested starting to use a bit of a sponge float and putting some retarder in the mix. So that's what I'm going to start doing. I'm going to buy some of that retarder that's in the tub, with the little sort of scoop, rather than the easy mix stuff, because obviously you've got to open a whole sachet for that. So I'm going to buy a tub of that stuff. I haven't used that yet. I'll get myself a new sponge float, and I will start to do that sort of thing in the work then, and try and make life a little bit easier. Anyway, let's get around this car before this one comes in and hits me. Anyway, I'm waffling now. I'll see you back in that garden tomorrow for a nice bit of K-rend. Happy days. See ya.